Okay. Friends, let us try to have an illustration for this third method, that is assets taken over method. ಅದಲ್ಲ have an illustration for this third method, that is assets taken over method. Let me read out the illustration. B Limited had the following balance sheet as on 31st March 2020. C Limited is acquiring B Limited. So B Limited liabilities and assets are given. Share capital 5,000 shares of 100 rupees each. It comes to 50 lakhs. Capital reserve of 10 lakhs. General reserve 36 lakhs. Unsecured loans 22 lakhs. Under creditors 42 lakhs. Provision for taxation 11 lakhs. Coming to assets, fixed assets 83 lakhs. Current assets 69 lakhs. Investment 17 lakhs. Goodwill 2 lakhs. So total of the balance sheet is 1 crore 71 lakh. For the purpose of amalgamation, the goodwill of B Limited is considered worth 3 lakh rupees. There are also arrears of depreciation in B Limited amounting to 4 lakh rupees. Investments are worth 2 lakh rupees. Now calculate purchase consideration on asset basis, net asset basis. Purchase consideration on net asset basis. Fixed assets 83 lakhs minus 4 lakh of depreciation, which is given here to be lessened. So it comes to 79 lakhs. So 83 lakh rupees worth of assets have a depreciation of 4 lakhs, that is lessened. So it goes to 79 lakhs. Current assets 69 lakhs as it is. Goodwill is taken for 3 lakhs. So I am taking 3 lakhs here. Investments are taken for 20 lakhs. 17 lakh investments are taken for 20 lakhs. So that is also taken here. Okay. So total purchase consideration comes to 1 crore 71 lakhs. Liabilities taken over are total assets taken over are 1 crore 71 lakhs. Liabilities taken over are loans 22 lakhs, sundry creditors 42 lakhs, provision for taxation 11 lakhs, comes to 75 lakhs. So the net purchase consideration for acquiring B Limited is 96 lakhs. 1 crore 1 lakhs minus 75 lakhs is equal to 96 lakhs. That is the purchase consideration. That's how it is to be calculated here. Okay. Some special points to be remembered pertaining to purchase consideration are when the intercompany shareholding is involved, then calculation of purchase consideration and accounting will require certain adjustment, which is not covered by us because we will not go that deep. So B, for calculating shares exchange ratio, share swap ratio of both the companies. So we need to know these things. Acquiring or amalgamated company or purchase company, and purchase acquired and amalgamated. Purchasing company is known as acquiring company or amalgamated company, purchaser company, whereas vendor company is known as acquired company, amalgamating company or vendor company. That can be calculated. What are those things to be calculated? Market value, you should know. Book value, market value basis you can calculate it. Book value basis you can calculate it. Intrinsic value basis also you can calculate it. Or else EPS into PE ratio basis you can calculate it. Or on weighted average basis also you can calculate it. For calculation of these, the following terms which you have already learnt in earlier class subjects will be repeated here. These terms are explained as below. Earning per share is equal to profit after tax and after preference dividend divided by number of equity shares. Price earning ratio. Price earning ratio is equal to market price divided by earning per share. Market price is equal to earning per share into PE ratio. Book value. Book value means that is intrinsic value per share is equal to net worth divided by number of equity shares. Return on equity. So profit after tax and after preference dividend divided by net worth into 100. It is expressed in percentage. Dividend payout ratio. Dividend divided by profit after tax into 100. Retention ratio 100% minus dividend payout ratio. Earning per share worth, the EPS growth rate. If you want to know EPS growth rate, return on equity into retention ratio. Worth of a shareholder, it is equal to number of shares held into market price. By using all this, we try to ascertain the value of the share to be taken. Okay. Now we shall go for accounting part of it. Okay. Accounting for amalgamation. Let me give you a basic introduction. Once again I repeat it. ICAI has issued accounting standard 14, that is called AS 14. This standard states the procedure for accounting for amalgamation. This is in vogue from 1st April 1995 onwards. Accounting standard prescribes accounting procedures with regard to amalgamation and absorption only, and that too for the transferee company only. Once again I repeat, accounting standard 14 prescribes accounting procedures with regard to amalgamation and absorptions only. It is not for external and internal reconstruction, and that too for transferee company only and not for transferor company. Transfer company means selling company. Okay. The accounting in the books of transferor company will be closed by opening a realization account, which is similar to what we have done in the case of dissolution of firms. Okay. Amalgamation as defined in accounting standard. Amalgamation means an amalgamation pursuant to provisions of the Companies Act or any other statute which may be applicable to companies. In fact, amalgamation may be taken and may take the shape of merging of one company with another or merging of two or more companies to form a new company. In terms of this accounting standard, the distinction between amalgamation and absorption is not of any significance. Okay. We shall try to know the types of amalgamation. Accounting problems of amalgamation are dealt with in accounting standard according to the types that I am going to discuss. Amalgamation for accounting purposes can be classified into two categories. Amalgamation in the nature of merger is one category. Amalgamation in the nature of merger. Second one is amalgamation in the nature of purchase. I repeat, amalgamation in the nature of merger and amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Now let us discuss amalgamation in the nature of merger. This amalgamation in the nature of merger has to satisfy all the following conditions. There are 5 conditions here. All these 5 conditions, if they are satisfied, then that amalgamation is called amalgamation in the nature of merger. What are those 5 conditions? First one, all the assets and liabilities of the transferor company, become the assets and liabilities of the transferee company. If all the assets and liabilities of the transfer company becomes the assets and liabilities of the transfer company, you will be fulfilling first condition. Second, shareholders holding not less than 90% of the face value of equity shares of the transferor company. Shareholders holding not less than 90% of the face value of the equity shares of the transferee company other than the equity shares already held therein immediately before the amalgamation by the transferee company or its subsidiaries or their nominees become equity shareholders of the transferee company. Once again I repeat, shareholders holding not less than 90% of the transferor company becomes the shareholders of the transferee company, then second condition is fulfilled. Okay. Thirdly, the consideration. Coming to consideration, the consideration for the amalgamation receivable by those equity shareholders of the transferor company who agree to become equity shareholders of the transferee company is discharged by the transferee company wholly by the issue of equity shares. I mean, consideration may be given only by the issue of equity shares except cash paid in respect of any fraction. All the amount that is to be payable should have been paid only by the issue of equity shares. When there is a fraction, that fraction only can be paid in the form of cash. Then third condition is over with it. The fourth one, the business of the transferor company is intended to be carried on after the amalgamation by the transferee company. Okay, the business of the transfer company should not be closed by the transferring company, it should be continued by them. Okay. Then fifth one is no adjustment is intended to be made to book value of the assets and liabilities of the transferor company when they are incorporated in the financial statements of the transferring company, except to ensure uniformity of accounting policies. If all these 5 conditions are fulfilled by the merger, then we call this amalgamation as amalgamation in the nature of merger. If any one of these 5 conditions is not fulfilled, then that is called amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Okay. I repeat, in this type of amalgamation, there is genuine pooling of assets and liabilities of the combining entities. In addition, equity shareholders of the combining entities continue to have proportionate share in the combined entity. The accounting treatment of such amalgamation should ensure that the resultant figure of the assets, liabilities, capital and reserves more or less represent the sum of the relevant figures of the amalgamation companies. Okay, this is what we call it as amalgamation in the nature of merger. Now we move on to amalgamation in the nature of purchase. ಹೌದಾ?